Hey, this is Chris from Rekkid Talk with another Vinyl Finds episode. I Buy Old Records, Volume 17. This one's called Hard Rock LPs and Pop 45s. So, whatever degree of credibility I managed to build with the indie alternative punk fans in the VC over the last few months, it's all going to be shot away by this video. It's hard rock and it's going to be top 40. I'll be showing today. So if you don't like that, you should probably quit right now. So again, I'm going south down to some towns in Tennessee. First place I go to. This is a town that's not too far away from me, so I've hit some of these places before. Go to the Salvation Army. Ugh, holy white missionary position, white gospel. I mean, even by thrift store standards, this record collection was horrid. Didn't get anything there. And then located basically next to the Salvation Army is an antique mall, and this one's a little bit on the frou-frou side. It's overpriced city. In particular, there's a booth. They have a crate of records. Looking through the first few, everything seems overpriced. About halfway through the crate, I find the Association Greatest Hits, which I had bought fairly recently for $2.49. This one's in basically the same condition. It's not like it's mint or near mint or anything. They want $18 for the Association Greatest Hits. I stopped looking at the crate at that point. I didn't even look at the rest of the crate. Figuring if they want $18 for Association Greatest Hits, there's not going to be a bargain in there. There was a booth with some 50s, 45s there that was slightly intriguing, but I didn't get anything. Then I went to another antique mall. This one's not as frou-frou. So there's a booth of somebody who sells sports cards. Apparently there are Trump baseball cards because they were selling Trump baseball cards. They had them plattered all over the place. I didn't get any records there. I did get a couple of CDs, or a lot of CDs that were like $1.25 each or 2 for $10. I only found 2 that I wanted, so I got this John Mellencamp Cutting Heads from 2001. It's okay. I mean, I'm not going to listen to it as much as I listen to like his prime, like American Fool, Scarecrow, but it's decent for $1.25. I also got some Nickel Creek this side from like 2002. Again, one of the members of Nickel Creek does have a local connection here, Chris Thiele, who's now in the Punch Brothers. Went to a place called the Old Country Mall, Kuntry, Country Mall, and I've never found anything there, and that continued on. Then I went to a town that I haven't hit up before in any of my record buying trips. There were several places that I had scouted out as possibilities. So the first place I go to is actually a pawn shop. And so they've got a bunch of records out. They've got singles that are $2.50 each. But almost everything has a picture sleeve with it, which is nice. Nice, decent picture sleeves. It was a lot of 50s stuff, a lot of Elvis and pop from the 50s. Maybe if I was into that sort of music, I would have found some stuff to get, but I didn't get anything. There was LPs for $5. Some of them were way overpriced at $5, but I did find a couple of things that I ended up getting. So I saw Herbie Hancock, and I figured you can't go wrong. Herbie Hancock for $5. Well, actually, it turns out you can go wrong. Feats Don't Fail Me Now. This is from, I think, was it 1980, 1979? This is basically disco music, and it's not even good disco music. I think this is largely considered to be basically the bottom of the barrel of Herbie Hancock's discography. But I have it. I also found this Cinderella, Long Cold Winter. Usually don't find like the 80s metal for cheap. The metal guys do like their records. I was wondering why this was in the $5 bin. It does turn out that the cover, if you look carefully, the cover and the original inner sleeve do have some water damage, and The disc is nice and clean, though. It plays just great. The guy noticed that I was going through records and setting stuff aside, and I guess he thought I looked serious about records because he came out and he said, "Hey, I have some better vinyl that I don't keep out on the floor. I tend to sell it on eBay, but I'll let you look at some of it." And so, and again, none of these were bargain prices. I could lie to you and tell you I paid $1 for these, but I didn't pay $1 for these. There were a couple I turned down. He wanted a little bit more than I was willing to pay for a Queen Nun at the Opera. He had a very clean Iron Maiden Live After Death. But again, he just wanted more than I was prepared to pay. I did get an AC/DC back in black. I got him to knock this one down a couple bucks. As you can see, there is kind of a crease on the front cover. I got a Van Halen 2. Van Halen 2. Very nice. So, and again, I mean, I looked those up after I got home. I was pretty much paying kind of what market price is if you're going to buy these. So it wasn't like an amazing deal, but those are records that I like and was hoping to get on vinyl at some point. A couple of the other places were strikeouts. I did go to a place, this really shady looking thrift store. They had a bunch of horrible gospel records stacked in a lot of it was stacked in the horrible horizontal way. They had some 45s. Most of them were horrible, but I actually found 3 that I was willing to pay $1 each for. So no picture sleeves. We got a couple Donna Summers, Last Dance. The label's kind of grody, but the disc is better. Hot Stuff. And I think the best one of this batch was a Sly and the Family Stone, Everyday People. Sly and the Family Stone, Everyday People. And I drove to another town, a very small town that does have a flea market. It looked very sketchy from the outside. I come on in. First booth had some, and these were cleaner 45s than the other place in their picture sleeves. So we got some 80s stuff. Buckner and Garcia, Pac-Man Fever. I've shown the record I have where my record is thrashed. And then usually when they put the instrumental version on the backside, you feel kind of gypped. So there's the instrumental version of Pac-Man Fever. But I can tell you from when I was 12 or 13, when I actually had and listened to the rest of the album with the songs about Centipede and Space Invaders, they're all terrible. So you're actually just as well off with the instrumental version. We got Nena with 99 Luftballons. And the flip side is 99 Red Balloons, the inferior version with the English lyrics. The German lyrics are much better. And we've got some Putting on the Ritz by Taco. Some song I never heard on the backside. And I think all 3 of these groups, these are people I'm pretty much satisfied with that one particular hit song of theirs. I don't really need albums by any of these people. There are also a couple Joan Jett albums there that were $10 each, but they were kind of rough, and I left them behind. I found a whipped cream for $2, but I already got it for $2. I'm not Adam from the Record Crate. I'm not going to plaster my walls with whipped cream. Then the last town I went to was a strikeout. Their flea market they had a bunch of 45s. They're all really rough, no sleeves. Albums, they had them in that inconvenient way where you couldn't flip through anything. Everything was horizontal. Most of the albums were in bad enough shape that you couldn't even read the title of the album. And after a while, it kind of got hard searching. The best thing I found there was a half-decent Steely Dan Asia. But I've already got a couple copies of it, and this copy wasn't better than either of the ones I had, so I left it. Now, of course, there is a Steely Dan merit badge when you try to make it to Audiophile Scout. So there you go, hard rock LPs and top 40 45s.